Hello and welcome to another edition of Commando Gaming. Today we're very excited to bring you a stream, and if you're watching this on YouTube, a recording of Battletech Flashpoints. It just came out today. We're streaming this literally as quickly as we could get this thing to download. So those of you that are interested in this game know that we played a lot of Battletech on our channels, both on Twitch and also on YouTube. Quick mention here, if you're watching on Twitch, please subscribe to know when we do a live stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and click that little bell so you know when we drop a new video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go into Battletech Flashpoint. It's a new update that was just released today. The biggest feature here are two features. Number one, there was an update that allows you to play career mode only, which basically allows you to sidestep the campaign and then focus purely on your career as a mercenary soldier. So, and running your mercenary company. Now, there's positives and negatives to that. First of all, the positives, you kind of control your own destiny. You don't have to jump and fly across the galaxy to handle a mission for the rebellion or restoration, as you do in the campaign mode. But also those campaign missions, as tedious as they were sometimes, did give you a substantial amount of resources, primarily C-bills, and also salvage. So what you're going to do in this career mode is there's not going to be a restoration to fight for. You're simply going to be the commander of a mercenary mech company, traveling around the galaxy, doing missions and building up your trust and your reputation and your mechs, space by space. In addition, with the Flashpoint DLC, which was also released today, there are going to be moments where you're going to have an opportunity to go to a Flashpoint, which is available for a fixed amount of time. You can go there, you can run the mission. The mission might involve some of the minor houses, it might involve one of the major houses. It's a significant fact, and it could be multiple missions that are linked together. But the biggest thing is at the end of these, supposedly, you're going to get a significant benefit to you, whether it's a new mech, whether you get a legendary weapon. You know, there's lots of rumors out there about what you're going to get when you complete these. Now, you can handle this in a couple ways. So first of all, these flashpoints are designed to trigger after you complete the campaign. So if you already have a campaign completed or you're in the middle of one, once you complete the campaign, story mode campaign, the flashpoints will start right away. However, how I'm going to play it, and it's really more challenging, is to start career mode, and then once you get to a certain level, the flashpoints will become available. I think that's the more legit way of doing it. I could just jump into one of my saves and storm around with a bunch of atlases with Mac warriors that are fully maxed out. Or I can take this from the career mode, starting out fresh and building. So that's what we're going to do here today. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump right into this. So this is what your screen will look like when you download Flashpoint. Just did it a few minutes ago. As you can see, you can get a season pass and you can get access to all 3 of the expansions, which is something that you can do, or you can play piecemeal. I'm going to pay piecemeal. You know, at the end of the day, you're probably going to pay another $10 if you do it piecemeal. But I wanted to see how Flashpoint worked and see how urban warfare works in the summer of next year before I pony up the full $50 for the season pass. So you can do it either way. I just want to make sure that number one, these things happen on schedule because sometimes developers get delayed. For example, this game itself was delayed when it was originally scheduled to be released in December of 2017. It ended up being released in March. So, you know, these things happen. So I didn't want to pony up the money until I made sure this was on schedule and see if Flashpoint was actually really good. So we're going to start out with our career mode. We're going to start up with a new career. I'm going to take off Iron Man mode here, simply because this is a brand new release, and I don't want to freeze or have it crash and not lose my point and have to start over again. Once I've done this, maybe once or twice, I'll probably go into the Iron Man mode once I'm sure that it's stable. I'm going to keep the parts for mech assembly at 3, and I'm going to say you can get equipped mechs when you collect the 3 parts. This unequipped mechs is basically if you really want to be super hardcore, but I think it's unrealistic, right? Because if you salvage three mech parts or 4 mech parts, the chances are you're going to get some working systems off of that. So to say, nah, I want a completely bare mech, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to keep everything else at their standard settings for now. So let's go ahead and start this game. Now, as I go through this playthrough, I'm going to assume everybody who's watching has either played the game or watched some videos about the game. So I'm not going to go into the minutia of every step that I do, because I'm assuming that there's a certain amount of experience that you have in the game. So please keep that in mind. We have a ton of videos on our YouTube channel, which is Commando Gaming, which has literally probably 40 or 50 hours of Battletech gameplay. If you haven't played before or you're not sure about it, go ahead and watch those videos, because I'm not going to go through step by step everything that I do, because I'm assuming that you have a basic knowledge of the game. One thing you'll notice about this DLC and update is it does take longer for screens to load up. Always makes me wonder if we're frozen here, so we're going to give this a second. I really don't want to restart the game. Here we go. So if you've played this game for a while and you've downloaded the updates, you've noticed that things have gotten a lot faster. I've noticed so far with this Flashpoint, things are a little slower again, like when the game was first released. So you have to be a little patient. So I'm going to go with some favorites here. I like to say that I'm from the deep periphery, which basically, if you know Battletech, that means I'm basically a Klansman. That's what I like to think of it. I like to go with Family Was Betrayed, because that gets me some gunnery skills. And I like to keep it at Gladiator, because it gives me some guts. So I got gunnery +1 guts for being betrayed, and I got +1 gunnery for being a gladiator. So so this is your mercenary career. You have So I'm actually going to, bear with me guys, I made a little gift here. Let's see. Made a little snafu here, so we're going to start this up again. Shouldn't take me more than a second. You have to be careful, and this is actually good. You have to actually, so I'm going to make those changes. When you customize your warrior, it's a little different with this version, and I've actually made this mistake once before. So specializing or making changes to your character was a little more intuitive with the original release, and I'll show you why here. You have to click. There's a very subtle area that you have to click into to make changes to your character. So I missed that there. So we're going to go ahead and just reboot a little bit. Give me 1 second while this loads up, and we'll work on setting up and customizing our character. So bear with me, it should load up in just a second. Alright, we're loading up right now. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to go with the periphery because I like to think of myself as a clansman. We were betrayed, so I get +1 gunnery, +1 guts. And I'm going to stay a gladiator because I like to get the +1 gunnery. So what you have to do here is, before you would put all this stuff in at the top, but now you have to actually click on this, edit name and appearance. So I'm going to put in my default call sign and information. Please don't steal my identity, everybody. I'm definitely going to play as a he. And there's some additional characters you can get here. I like to just go with the clean cut guy here. So I'll just go with him. So there we go. So that's the step I missed before. So be careful, because once we start a campaign, we can't change all that stuff. So make sure you click on the picture of your character to make those changes to your name, etc., etc. So Mercenary's career, you have everything industrious mercenary commander could want: a crew of misfits, a lance of ancient battle mechs, and a derelict cargo ship to call home, which is the Argo. One thing to finish this mission in one piece, more or less, but it's another to keep your mech warriors happy and healthy, your mechs patched and ready for action, and your balance sheet firmly in the black. So that's important to keep in mind. We're going to have less money because we're not going to have those big campaign missions where you're thrown like $1 million or $2 million just for completing a mission. Every dollar is going to count in this game, especially because once you play 1,000 game days, you're actually going to get a score on how you do based on criteria that Harebrained Schemes has come up with. Now you could still keep playing past the 1,000 days, but that's where you get your score. So if you're excited about trying to compete with your buddies for your score, you want to make every dollar and every day count. So we're going to keep that in mind. As the rumors of another war of succession intensify, could this be another DLC? Hint, I think so. Mercenary Review Board announces a new evaluation protocol that assesses mercenary companies of the periphery with a score. So again, you get a score after 1,000 days. So let's continue here. All right, so we've got kind of the base Argo here from what I could see. You've got your Leopard. We're starting out at Independence. There's 4 places you can start out an independent career. I see most people show up at Independence so far. So let's take a look at our mech warriors here, okay? So we've got Night Terror, Harrier. I like that name. That's a good name for a mech warrior pilot. as you can see, your new pilots, Rat Party, interesting. Sunshine.
I live to serve.
It's a good name. Sweep, like that name. So as you can see, your warriors have nothing. They have no XP. They have very little scores. You're getting guys basically right off the street, and you're going to be dealing with training them. So we can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out my gunnery on Night Terror here, because I'm really going to have to use him heavily early on in this game, because he's my one player with a lot of experience. So I've moved his gunnery to 5. So let's look at the mech bay. Let's see what we have to work with here, because in this game, when you're dealing with the campaign, you're actually given a pretty solid lance, especially when you're given the Shadowhawk, which has a substantial amount of firepower for this game. So what you're given here is you're kind of given a default group. Give me 1 second, guys. A default group of mechs that are much more representative of what a new mercenary company would probably have. So we've got a Vindicator here, we've got a Jenner, we've got a Commando, we've got a Spider, and we've got a Panther. And I've seen most of the people who had sneak previews of this game kind of ended up with that group of mechs. You always end up with a Vindicator, which kind of has to be your heavy mech for right now, and you got a bunch of light mechs, and a Panther is a pretty decent light mech, but you know, the Vindicator is going to probably try to be your workhorse. So since you have all these light mechs and you want to minimize damage in this game, in this career mode, I'm going to try to tweak these mechs, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's go into the Vindicator first of all. Now, I'm not a big fan of jump jets. I know a lot of people like to do that, but especially in this game format, I'm going to take out those jump jets. And what I'm going to do here, now you'll notice, since we're starting out, we don't have any weapons in our storage room. So you're going to get stock loadouts, and that's what you're going to have to play with. So what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to strip out the jump jets, and I'm going to max out the armor. Max out the armor as much as I possibly can to minimize damage here, because one thing we can't do as a mercenary force, we can't have our mechs down, especially early in this game. So we're going to try to make sure that we don't get any structural damage as much as possible. So we're going to take out the jump jets, we're going to max out the armor. It's going to reduce our mobility, but I've never really used jump jets because of the heat consequences, and I've played hundreds and hundreds of hours of Battletech, and I hardly ever use the jump jets. So I have no problem. Now, one thing you'll notice is this change, since all we're doing is taking out equipment, doesn't take us any time at all. So it takes no days, costs us a little bit of money. But the Vindicator's ready to go. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to actually do a similar thing for each of our mechs here. So we're going to take out the jump jets. I know people are like, what? You're going to take the jump jets out of a Jenner? Yes, I am. It's still going to be very fast. But what I like here is if we max out the armor again, we're going to have a 4 medium laser SRM4 mech that actually is going to be able to do a fair amount of damage here. So again, since we're not adding anything, it's not going to take any time at all.
Right. Job's done.
So we're going to max out. We're going to do the same thing with the commando. Take a look at the commando. The commando doesn't have any jump jets, so we can just leave that alone. Not any significant changes there. So we're just going to skip out of there. Now, Spider. So the Spider has a whole bunch of jump jets, so we're going to take those jump jets out. I know this is blasphemy, but trust me, I've been thinking about it, and I think this is the way you need to go, at least early on in this game. We need to actually basically take these light mechs, max out their armor, and kind of treat them like they're medium mechs. So we're going to take, oh, cancel that. Got to max out the armor. Not too bad.
That work order you submitted is complete.
Alright, let's take a look at the Panther. I don't think I have to make any changes to the Panther. Actually, yeah, we can take out the jump jets again. Same theory. Not gonna be a broken record here, so we're gonna take out the jump jets, max out the armor, and we're ready to go.
I wrapped up that job you asked for.
So I've got a medium, really a heavy, light in the Panther, and I've taken all of these light mechs and I've made them as survivable as possible. So let's take a look at our contracts. All right, so we've got a letter marquee. So we've got a lot of contracts here. So let's go to the main Argo screen, and I'm going to tell you a little tip here, okay? One of the things that you get if you're trying to max out your score for the time that you have available with career mode is you can do, as long as you don't travel, time doesn't move, okay? So as long as you have this timeline paused and you don't travel anywhere, then we're actually in a position where time doesn't change. So let's go back to the command center. So for our contracts here, all of these contracts are not travel contracts. You're staying on the planet. So theoretically, if we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missions in one day, the key here is to do what? Make sure no mech warriors get hurt, and make sure you have no structural damage. Because, well, actually you could have one mech that has structural damage because you have an extra mech. So if you go through these 5 missions and you only have one mech that has structural damage, you can really maximize how much you progress in your career in one game. So we're going to start out with the half skull here. We're going to negotiate this. Now, what do we know? All right, number one, I've got decent funds right now, but we need as much mech stuff as we can get at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and max out the salvage. All right, so we're going to go, we're going to take the Vindicator. I will be in the Vindicator. We're going to absolutely take the Panther. Now, who's got the most gunnery skills? They're all pretty much the same, except Sunshine has a little higher guts. So we're going to put him in the Panther. We're definitely going to take the Jenner. And I guess put him in the Jenner. Now we've got a spider and a commando. I'm going to take the spider because it's got a little more armor on it. And you notice, look, the Vindicator actually has a lot of armor, 880. The Panther, 680, lots of armor. Even the Jenner, 520, and the Spider has a significant amount as well. So, 600. So, do I take Rat Party or do I take Sweep? I'm going to take Sweep. They're about the same. So let's deploy. All right, our first career mission. I'm excited about it. So we're going to let that load up. Again, you'll note that it takes a little longer for things to load up. And hopefully with updates, this will speed up. Actually, didn't take that long. So some of the items take a little long, mainly in the main title screens. But it looks like the combat is loading up pretty quickly here. So again, what are we looking to do here? Avoid injuries and avoid structural damage to the mechs. If we play smart, we should be able to do that. Now, I've heard interviews from Harebrained Schemes, the people who developed this game, and they are people who have played thousands of campaign hours testing this game. And they've all come out and said that the career mode, because you're so cognizant of damage and injuries, that they became much better mech warrior players, simply by playing career mode. And let's see why. Because I feel like I'm a pretty good Battletech player after playing hundreds of hours, but I'm excited about seeing if my gamesmanship improves. So we're going to be heading over here to this valley, it looks like. Now we're in the tropical biome, so we're going to have to really watch our temperature. And it looks like basically the easiest thing to do, maybe stay by the water in case I get hot and I need to move forward. So we're going to go ahead and sprint towards the enemy here.
On the way.
Sprint.
Copy that.
Sprint. I think this is one of the reasons. I think all of the games available have really focused on. So what we have over here is spores. So this is a new thing. So the spore fields slow all units moving through them. Units standing in the spore field suffer an additional 20% damage when hit. Oh, alright, so we really want to avoid these spores. That's what that's telling me right there. So we're not going to go anywhere near these spores. So we've got a enemy contact of some type. Not unexpected. So we're just going to keep sprinting everybody forward. We're going to try to avoid these spore fields.
Heading out.
Like the plague. We're going to have to really keep an eye on these spore fields because I just see those as being a source of frustration. We don't have any enemy yet, so we're going to keep sprinting up.
Acknowledge.
Receiving you.
We might as well start bracing, I guess.
Ready.
Kind of play it safe again. Playing safe is kind of the name of the game here.
Looks like enemy reinforcements.
Alright, so we got enemy reinforcements right off the bat. Alright. So we got... Don't have a lot of detail on what's coming at me yet. So it looks like we're going to have some reinforcements, which is some good salvage. Move our Vindicator up here. Looks like the enemy's coming our way. That's one thing I like to do generally is
Standing by.
let's move, sweep over here,
Confirm.
get him in some cover, even though he's on rough terrain. One thing I like to do is reserve down. One of the things I like to do is if the computer will move ahead towards me, I find that really strings out the enemy, so I can get multiple mechs on one enemy. So we took a little bit of a hit there.
Systems holding.
Not too bad. What's going on here? Alright, so we got a enemy here moving up. So what I like to do whenever possible is get the enemy to come my way. So it kind of strings the enemy out so I can get multiple shots at an enemy. We're going to have to watch heat here because we're in the tropical biome, but the first hit, we're going to try to take out this galleon. Took out the galleon, not too bad.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Let's see if the enemy keeps coming towards us. You know, we're going to be outnumbered here, so I'd like to let the enemy come to me as much as possible, especially since I can build up my resolve. Oh, alright, we got a mech. Looks like a fire starter. That would be some great salvage. I love me some fire starter, especially in this level. If I can replace the Jenner or the Spider with a fire starter before too long, that would be good. So we're gonna move a little bit, get a little distance, get a little evasion.
Locking target. Winging him in.
So we've got a good hit on the fire starter.
Yes, Commander.
And we're going to try to move a little,
Affirmative.
get a little bit of evasion, take a full shot on this fire starter. Again, we're going to play it really conservative here. A little evasion, get into cover.
Now, let's see how you handle this.
Just going to keep running away with this fire starter
Score
here.
a critical hit.
And we're trying to maximize or avoid any significant damage. At the same time, I've got to keep all my weapon systems available, so we'll move the Vindicator up here a little bit. And I could do a precision strike. See if we can take out that leg.
Engaging target.
I want to try to maximize salvage here, so right leg destroyed. Nice. Looks like a striker coming in above us. Not too bad. More strikers, looks like.
Damage minimal.
We can handle that.
I await your command. We're rolling.
We can do a precision strike on this fire starter. Really would like to get rid of that leg.
Solid connection on that one.
Panther. It's okay. Got some good salvage opportunities here.
Standing by. Aye,
Get
aye.
the spider out. Number one, he can be a target. Take some of this fire from us. Also, try to get him to take out that left leg if we can.
Ready for orders.
Same thing with the Jenner. We'll move it
Position
forward.
confirmed.
See if we can take care of
Locking
that
in all
leg.
weapon systems.
No joy there. Alright, so we got our Night Terror here. One thing I can do with Night Terror, because he's multi-target now, because I really want to try to get that leg. So we're not going to do multi-target. The leg's almost gone. Let's see if we can get rid of that leg.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Really hoping I could get that leg. Ooh, we've got something pretty significant shooting at us. Now. Okay. Darn it, that fire starter's getting up, but really was hoping we could max our salvage on that. He's going to try to move forward, see if he can get in flame range, but we're not going to let that happen, that's
Yes,
for
Commander.
sure. So, we're going to move everybody
Onward.
back. Finish off this fire starter. Really hoping we
Mech
could get
destroyed.
2 mech parts from that fire starter, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Orders. Coordinates received.
Best opportunity. See now the heat is starting to build up.
Aye,
Let's
aye.
focus on this Panther at this point. Oh, not a good shot, Harrier. You need some time on
No
the
joy.
weapons range when we get back to the Argo.
Receiving you.
Spider doesn't have any damage at this point, so we're
Ready
going
for
to
orders.
move him forward.
Position
Let
confirmed.
him tank a little bit. Get some fire in on this Panther. Oh man. These pilots,
No luck.
they are just not helping me. Keep working on this Panther here. Actually, you know what? We're going to try to take out this striker before we can launch another wave at us. Okay? That was worth it. I hated not getting the fire on the Panther there, but I don't want these strikers to tear through our armor too much. Because again, we need to avoid structural damage. It's very
I live to
much
serve.
the name of the game. Keep working on this
Moving to
Panther.
position.
Panther versus Panther. I can do a target. You know what? I could do a precision strike here, but I want to save my precision strikes for my best gunner. So I'm just going to do
Right havoc.
2 PP strap. Not too bad.
Damage is minor, Commander.
Okay.
Standing by.
Sweet.
Moving to position.
Panther again with here, as you can see, our
Roger
heat
that.
is building up. Luckily, the enemy isn't overwhelming us with multiple targets at the same time, which is what I would be doing if I outnumbered myself by this much. So, Night Terror here, he's my good gunner, so I'm going to use him for a targeted strike on the right leg. Again, we're trying to maximize some salvage here. Ooh, we did take out his PPC, so that was nice. Got to keep that in mind. Something's got an AC something over here, probably AC 5. So that's something we got to keep in mind.
They will be done.
Can't see what that vehicle is yet, so we're gonna just keep dancing around, getting a little evasion. Working on this Panther.
It didn't hit.
Oh, sunshine. I mean, these new pilots,
Good to go.
one thing that you're going to see is we kind of got spoiled in the campaign with starting out with some pretty good pilots. But the situation here with the campaign mode is, at least in these first couple rounds, until you get these people trained up, you've got some bad targeting.
Roger.
So we're just going to keep building up some evasion, working on this Panther. It's taking a long time. Oh, we got a galleon. Medium. He's got a medium laser. It's not particularly concerning to me. One could argue right now. Let's do some multi-targeting here. Because the Panther isn't putting any fire on me, but this galleon is in a position to, so let's take out the galleon thanks to some multi-targeting. And we'll do some LRMs. There. So we should have 4 targets now shooting at me. As you can see, this build is doing a really good job avoiding any structural damage. Although I do not like that AC fire. That's the type of thing that could give you some structural damage in a heartbeat. So we're going to have to watch that closely.
Commander? I'm your spaniel.
In the campaign mode, I could see myself totally advancing up and aggressively attacking this Panther.
Primitive.
But there's no reason to. I might as well just hang back and slowly pick it apart without getting any structural damage. That's the name of the game here in career mode.
Waiting for orders.
There's no reason that we can't just slowly beat up on the enemy. Especially in this situation. They can only basically come at me 2 at a time. I've got good cover.
Ready for orders.
So there's really no reason for me to go crazy and aggressively attack and take damage to my flanks. But I could really just kind of piecemeal this. Alright, so I could do a targeted strike again. Get a little evasion. Targeted strike on one of these legs.
Engaging target.
Come on, baby.
Enemy mech. Critical
Took out
damage
a critical.
detected.
Took out a weapon. I mean, basically what the enemy is doing is letting this Panther stand there, take damage, and be basically a scout.
Standing by. I'm walking here.
Let's see if we can't. I got a precision strike available.
Welcome
See if
to
it'll
my
work.
house.
I took out the CT before the right leg went down.
One less target.
I really would have liked to maximize some salvage there, but
Standing
it's
by.
what it is. So what we're going to actually do now is we can just let everybody brace, lose some heat,
Confirmed.
because now they need to move somebody up to get vision. So there's no reason for us to take a move there. So now we've got this. Was this the AC shooter? No, there's still something over there that I think it's. But this Scorpion has an AC5, which would be some good salvage. So let's work on taking that out. Pilots just suck. Oh, there's an AC. I think it's an AC2 over there because it's really not doing a lot of damage. Not as much as this AC5 can, so let's just take that out. Now we should have 2 enemy units left. I know there's a striker up here. Here comes the striker.
I'm
So
receiving you.
now I'm actually going to move up the Panther. See if we can't take out this striker. And now we should have one more enemy target left. And I should be able to get through this without any injuries. Now we kind of have to move forward, because I don't think that enemy is going to come in. So
Ready for orders.
we're going to go ahead and move forward.
Got it.
All of our mechs have plenty of armor. I think we can be a little more aggressive at this point. I'm going to still do moves and braces because we want to make sure that we're minimizing our challenges here.
Receiving you.
Right, so we can move forward. Move our spider forward and see what we got here. Yeah, so we got a Scorpion with it. Oh, it is an AC5.
Confirmed. Firing.
See if we can't clean this up.
On my way. Firing on target.
Alright. That should be the end of our mission here.
One less vehicle.
We took out 8 targets, including 2 mechs, Panther, and a fire starter, so I think we're going to get some good salvage. But again, no mech warrior injuries and no structural damage, so our mechs could just hop into another mission right away. And that's the name of the game. So we got no damage. Everybody got a little bit of experience. And we've got a fire starter part and a Panther part. Plus weapons here. So we're going to take our chance. We should get some of this stuff just because we've maxed out the salvage. Got an AC5, not too bad. Medium laser, machine gun, and a small laser. So not too bad salvage. I'm happy with that, especially since what can I do? Jump right into the next mission because I've got no damage and no injuries. So that's the name of the game here. So as you can see, we're still on day 1. And let's go to the barracks real quick.
Commander.
And let's up everybody's gunnery. That's going to be our first priority right now because everybody sucks as far as their gunnery. We'll increase the piloting for our guy.
Waiting for orders.
Rat party didn't go out
ready.
on the mission, so everybody could increase their
Ready for orders.
weapon hit.
Training complete.
Alright, let's look at our contracts that we have available. Alright, so now we have a travel mission. But there's no way in heck I'm going to do that. So we got nosy neighbors, interception, which is basically a assassination. Nosy neighbors. Humanitarians. Last mixed in a mopping up. You know, I'm gonna go with mopping up here. And again, we got plenty of money right now, so we're gonna max out the salvage. Go with our same team for now, since we just increased their abilities. So no changes there. Let's just deploy. So, one of the most frustrating things in this game, as anybody who's played it knows, is that we spend a little time waiting for prepping for combat, but it's not too bad. Begin mission.
Command interface.
Really not too bad at all. Can't really complain. Alright, so we know where the enemy lance is. Gotta change my logo. Some point. So where it's cold, so we're up north. So we've got polar biome, increases unit's heat-seeking ability by 20%. So we should be able to fire our weapons hot. Let's really try to use these trees as much as possible.
On the way.
Really maximize our cover bonus.
Moving to position.
Alright, no enemy yet, so let's just keep advancing. Using those trees as much as possible.
Acknowledged. Confirmed.
Nothing. Alright, let's try to use these trees over here. Oh, we got enemy contact.
Moving to position.
Let's move towards the enemy contact while using the trees.
Position confirmed. They will be done. Rolling.
So I'm just going to go ahead and reserve. Again, I like to see if the enemy will come to us. Oh, geez. Kentaro. Kentaro.
Damage is minor, Commander.
That's a pretty significant enemy this early in the game. We got a Kentaro. So, we got something up here. I don't know what that is. This could be some pretty significant salvage here, so we're gonna
Engaging target.
really try to chip away at this mech before we have too much. Ooh.
I'm under heavy fire.
Where did that come from? So we got something up here. It's got AC on it. Something
Yes,
to keep
Commander.
in mind. Move the Jenner up to cover.
Heading out.
Can. Put some fire on that Kentaro. Really got to make our shots count. Oh boy, we have a Centurion. Oh, this is getting interesting, folks. We've got some significant opponents on this map.
Orders.
It's good because obviously it's some salvage opportunity, but can we take them out
Standing by.
without getting significant damage to our mechs? Alright, so we can do a precision shot. That leg already has some damage.
Feel my wrath.
Oh, sunshine. You are not my sunshine today.
Commander.
Moving
On my way.
around.
Roger.
Moving.
Good to go. On the move. Roger.
Got that leg, yes. Right leg
Solid
down.
connection on that
Now,
one.
fortunately, so we got a keep under cover. So I've got a blackjack, Centurion. I'm hoping these are the only three that I have to face, because this is a lot of mechs to face with the mechs that I have available. So let's see if we can't
Engaging target.
maximize salvage on this Kentaro, because Kentaro is really nice. internal damage. I was going to really trying to avoid that. But, I mean, I've got 3 heavy medium mechs here. I would almost argue a Kentaro is a heavy mech, just because it's got so much armor, typically.
I'm ready.
I have to maximize our
I'm walking
evasion here.
Engaging. Standing by. I copy.
Keep dancing around.
Confirmed.
Receiving you. On my way. Confirmed.
Yes.
Enemy down.
So, what I'm going to do now, try to tank with the Vindicator. I'm leaving my Vindicator a little exposed to the Blackjack, but what I'd like to do is use the Vindicator to take on the Centurion. And then use my 3 lights, hopefully, to take out the Blackjack. Structure
That shot
exposed.
got past my armor.
Orders? I'm going.
Blackjack definitely has the most dangerous weapons.
Acknowledge.
Man.
Ready for orders. Roger.
2. Max with structural damage. Not happy
Orders.
at all.
Coordinates received. Taking the shot.
This Blackjack. That hurts.
Internal structure damage.
Really need to get this Centurion some damage on his weapon systems. Not what I was hoping for. Damage to the Vindicator. I can
Warning.
handle
Armor
that.
low.
I'm your spaniel. Got it, Commander.
Sunshine. Sensors impaired. That doesn't really help.
I'm here.
I'm assuming sensors impaired indicates that maybe the targeting is off a little bit.
I copy.
I'd really like to see some damage to the weapon systems. Man, these pilots can't shoot.
Waiting for orders.
Again, you get so spoiled by
Moving to position.
having really good pilots in the campaign that this is really painful. Alright, so we at least took out one of his weapons.
That is something good.
That's good. Visual indicators taking some hits.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Oh, 3 mechs with internal damage. Not what I had in mind for this mission.
Engaging target. Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Commander?
Well, not a lot. Internal damage. At this point, I'm going to take the Panther. I think the Centurion has more firepower at this point.
Yes, Commander.
Working on the blackjack.
Standing by.
We're going to need some repairs after this.
Confirmed.
I'm not happy about that at all. Okay. Blackjack goes down.
Tango down.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
And we're taking some hits here, but you gotta keep in mind, against 3 medium mechs with 1 medium and 3 lights,
Engaging target.
and we're being attacked from 2 sides.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
I mean, I think we're doing pretty good, all things considered.
I'm here. Onward.
Try working on some precision
Right,
strikes
have
at this
it.
point. And nope. CT.
Enemy down.
Mission successful.
Alright. That was a pretty costly mission. Hopefully we got some salvage out of this. We're gonna have a couple days of repairs, which does not make me happy. Hopefully we got some decent salvage out of it. See, we got 3 mechs that need repairs. Not happy about that at all. But I did get a Kintaro and a Centurion part. I think that has some value in and of itself. We got lots of medium lasers, which is very nice. All right, let's do the positives first. Okay, so let's look at our upgrading. I'm gonna hold out for gunnery. We'll increase the guts for
Mech warrior training
our
complete.
commander here.
Commander?
I'm receiving you.
Gonna hold out for improving gunnery
I'm here.
on those two, because gunnery I think is most important at this point. So we're gonna do that. All right, let's look at the damage here. We didn't lose any weapons. 3 days for Vindicator. 3 days for the Jenner. 2 days for the Spider repair. Alright, so the question is how quickly can I get 2 mechs out into 3 mechs, 4 mechs out into the field? So the Spider in 2 days. Vindicator 3 days, Jenner 3 days. Alright, so in 2 days, thanks to the fact that I have a commando, I can actually take another mission. So let's try to advance time. I guess that isn't too bad, all things considered. I mean, we did get a lot of good salvage there. So let's look at our contracts available. Got this nosy neighbors, humanitarians. So this is an escort mission. Nosy neighbors. We're gonna go with the nosy neighbors mission. Again, keep maxing out the salvage. So Panther's gonna become our most powerful mech for this. Not exactly excited about that. Oh shoot, I need hold off on that. Might need to advance a little bit to get this Vindicator. Or I can go into this mission with 3 mechs. Not really ideal. Do I want to lose 3 days? You know what? I'm gonna take my chance. I'm gonna take the battle mission. I'm gonna go with 3 mechs. Not ideal, especially given what I have to work with here. But you know, as a commander, you gotta take your chances. You know what? I think that's good feedback, so we're gonna wait for the Vindicator. I hate to lose 3 days of time. But I think there is some merit to that. Max out. So you see I lost 5 days there. Could come back to bite me later.
Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
Let's see if we can do here. So we got time for one more mission, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. Number one, because I don't want too many missions into per video for our YouTube streams, and also just for practicality, we're going to take a couple hours off, and then we're going to continue either with this career, or we're going to start out another career with one of our other video casters for the channel. So stay tuned for that. We're probably going to take a like a 2-hour break, and then we'll get right back in it. But we'll do this mission first.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, so we got a neutral biome. Looks like the enemy is over there. So what I'd like to try to do is spring over to the trees.
Moving to position.
Move order received.
Got it.
And by trading the Jenner for the Commando, we're giving up a significant amount of armor. So hopefully that won't
I'm going.
inhibit us too much.
Position confirmed.
Try to get into these trees. A bit of cover. Shouldn't be too far. I can kind of scout around these trees. I can sprint up the spider.
Heading
Yeah,
out.
so we got enemy contact. So we got 3 locusts. Damn it, not exactly the salvage I was hoping for.
Position confirmed.
You know, three locusts doesn't really excite me that much. Alright, so we got a spider. So maybe this is the mission I should have taken instead of the
I'm ready.
earlier mission.
Acknowledge.
But so that'd be
Wing and a miss.
it's painful. Another locust.
Orders.
The spider up to cover here. And it really doesn't matter which one I go after.
Firing a
It's
full
a buff, so
salvo.
we'll just focus on the spider first. Locust going for a physical attack. Does have those machine guns though.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Receiving you.
Next we'll move the commando around. Put some fire with the large laser into the
Engaging one
spider.
target.
If he doesn't miss,
Nothing.
light.
The big guy. Alright, spider's coming in for an attack. Fine with me. If he wants to come out into the open with his most powerful mech.
Waiting for orders.
We're gonna go in with the spider and punch on this locust.
Scored a critical hit.
And if a locust wants to get in range of for melee, it's fine with me. It's not what I would do with a locust by any stretch of the imagination.
I live to serve. Onward.
Do a precision strike on the spider since it has a damaged leg. Oh, both legs are damaged. Too bad. Clearly,
Showing minor damage.
something I can't handle there.
Standing by.
Alright, so we can get the commando into the rear arc of this spider.
Confirmed.
Oh, man.
Fail to connect.
This targeting is horrible. Keep focusing on our heavy mechs as I would do as well. This panther
Engaging
again.
target. Enemy mech. Critical
Sorry,
damage
it's the spider
detected.
again, not the panther.
Tickled.
Tickled.
Thy will be done. On the way. Bon
Spider.
appetit.
Really, they don't really have anything on this map that's really
Standing
gonna
by.
cause us too much trouble. Let's go ahead and keep
Engaging.
physical attacking this locust.
Ready for orders.
Keep getting into the rear arc of the spider.
Aye, aye.
Work our way around.
Firing all weapons.
Trying to get some success out of this spider, probably before he loses it. That's not gonna happen.
Engaging target.
Spider's coming up after my own. Darn it.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Armor again on the Vindicator.
Yes, Commander.
I'm just kind of pissed off at this point. We're just
Rolling.
a panther in here.
Move.
Copy that.
Can't take much more of this.
You're fine.
Standing by. Confirmed.
And
Locking in all
focus
weapons.
is causing all this trouble.
Get the angle on me. Armor's getting stripped off.
Just gonna put this
Engaging physical
spider out of
attack.
its misery.
Enemy mech destroyed. Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Commander? Engaging. Inflicted some heavy damage.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Good to go. Locked on for physical attack.
Really?
Receiving you.
Focus are driving me crazy.
Roger.
Engaging physical attack.
So annoying.
Enemy mech destroyed. Damage minimal.
Standing by.
And sadly, these pilots are so bad that
On my way.
the locusts are so weak that it makes sense to just go in and
No
bash
joy.
them. Go after the commander.
I'm under heavy fire.
You're fine.
Ready for orders.
I'm here. Confirmed.
Ugh. These pilots are so horrible.
Engaging physical attack.
Painful. Well, I did not just lose my PPC. I cannot
I'm
believe
ready.
that just happened.
Locked on for physical attack. Reporting negative damage.
Yes, Commander. Affirmative. Targeting for physical attack.
Commander?
Might be asking why I'm doing these physical attacks. These pilots are just so bad, and they've missed so many shots. So it's like if a locust wants to get in melee range, I'm just gonna take that all day long.
Engaging physical attack.
Taking heavy hits, Commander.
You're fine. You're fine.
Orders? Acknowledged. Target neutralized.
Commander. Solid connection on that one.
Ready for orders.
Just not excited about locust salvage, so just want to finish this off. Are you kidding me?
Warning. Armor low.
Really getting annoyed. This is a horrible mission.
Engaging physical attack.
Are you kidding me?
Waiting for orders.
It's just funny at this point.
Position confirmed. What's my weight is doing?
That was horrible.
Reporting
That was
enemy
a horrible
Battletech down.
round.
Mission successful.
So the Vindicator is gonna have to go back under the knife, as they say. A little frustrating. This career started out so well. Now the Vindicator needs some repairs. Oh, hooray, I got enough parts for a locust. Maybe. Let's see. Alright, I got locust parts. And I got a spider part. Not bad salvage, but not really what I wanted here. Got 15 minutes left. Maybe I can do one last mission here before I close out this stream. And we'll take a couple hours to post the video on YouTube, and also just to take a break, and then we'll start again probably around 3 o'clock and do some more streaming. Either again with the next stream, we're either going to continue this career, or one of our other streamers is going to stream a new career as well. So we're going to take a look at that, see what time allows, and then we're going to do lots of streaming tonight. We're going to do lots of streaming tomorrow, all day streaming and videos. So We're going to have lots of
That mech you
Flashpoint
wanted is
material
back
for you.
online.
Okay, so indicator. We lost our PPC, I believe. I can't believe we did that. Horrible. Horrible. I lost the PPC. I guess all we can do right now is put on a large laser.
All mech warriors to the habitation ring for a mandatory hygiene check. Repeat, all mech
To do
warriors to
that,
the
I hate large
habitation.
lasers. Do two medium lasers. Take up the small laser.
Dr. Barat, my terminal is on the fritz again. I'm looking at a blue screen when I don't know page lines.
Have you tried hitting it with something?
Okay.
I'm on my way.
So I can mount 5 medium lasers for now. Don't have any extra heat sinks. Guess I can put a machine gun on. This is probably one of the few times you're ever going to see me with a machine gun on a mech. It's going to take 15 days to make all those changes. So let's reset. If I want to be out of action that long. So medium laser. Laser. I guess I do want to do that. I'm not going to worry about the machine gun. It's 12 days of repairs. Let's max out the armor.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
So the question is, can I do a mission with these 4? I think I can. I think I can do I can do this humanitarian mission. So we put our best pilot there. And we're going to put our paper thin locust onto the field.
Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
So again, we got, usually escort missions are pretty fast. So let's see if we can't knock out this escort mission, and then we will take a break from streaming. This is an escort mission, so
Command interface
I'm running
initiated.
really light on it, but then again, hopefully,
Okay, here we go.
hopefully we can run light on this mission and be okay.
Moving to position.
Looks like we've got some opposition here.
Heading out.
Confirmed.
Really, I'm not a fan of locusts, but it is what it is, right? So
Ready for orders.
let's at least use the locust to figure out what we're dealing with here.
Moving to position.
Striker.
Confirmed.
Yes, Commander.
Mando,
Acknowledged.
Mando should be able to maybe finish off this locust.
Copy
Or
that.
the striker if everything hits. Alright, that's a good start.
Take that, you little bastard.
I'm receiving you. Rolling.
Take some cover. Spread up the Panther. It's got an AC on it.
I await your command. I'm walking here.
Alright, Sunshine. See if we can finish off that little scorpion.
Welcome to my outpost.
Got a fire starter. Salvage.
Standing
Nice.
by.
Salvage, if I can salvage mech out of this mission, maybe I can salvage my career. Alright, let's see if we can finish off this scorpion without taking any damage. Good job.
Vehicle trashed.
Standing by. Aye,
Focused around. Get his evasion up. Put some fire on the fire starter. In retrospect, I was gonna say I could have taken the machine guns off of that fire starter, or that the locust, given it's more armor, but that would have taken some time. Good start.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Fire starter. Medallion. Nothing to worry about there. Keep working on this fire starter.
Engaging target.
Oh, not a good miss there.
No damage detected.
Alright, he's going after the locust. That's fine with me. Can do that all day
Receiving
long.
you.
The rear arc of this fire starter. Might have moved me in range of flame attack, but I think it's
Roger.
worth it.
Standing by. I'm going.
My spider can get a shot on is the galleon.
Firing all weapons.
Commander.
And probably the same thing.
Got it.
And actually, with commando, do everything on the galleon, or just the large laser, and do everything on the galleon here.
Affirmative.
Take it out of the field before we take any damage.
One more for the trash heap.
See what the fire starter does. Looks like it's going to go after Panther. Not too bad.
Warning. Armor low.
Can handle that. Pull back on the fire starter here. Precision strike. On the legs. Maybe
All
we'll get
weapons
lucky.
committed.
I was hoping we would.
Standing by.
Let's get the locust into the rear arc.
Confirmed.
Alright, we took out the flamer.
Target's taken a critical hit.
Worth that right there.
I'm your spaniel.
Precision strike on that leg. It might be worth it. Not such a bad shot.
Oh, I like that shot.
I do not like that shot. That was a waste
Ready for
of a
orders.
precision strike.
Position confirmed.
Can get another precision strike in. Again, I'm just trying to get maximize salvage on this fire starter.
Got it.
Took out the right leg.
Scored a critical hit.
Ready for orders. Roger.
Any chance we can take out this other leg? That would be huge.
Roger. Reporting. Critical hit.
Good to go. On the move.
Let's take out the missiles. There's
Locked on.
Yes! Alright, both legs
One
were
less
destroyed, so I'm going to get 2 pieces of salvage, which should mean I can have a fire starter out of that. That's really nice. Okay, now we just sprint over
On the
to
way.
Location confirmed.
escort mission is. Where are we taking these guys? It's a pretty good distance away, so sprint everybody out ahead of the convoy.
Onward.
You guys have all done escort missions 100 times.
Receiving you.
Just gotta sprint out ahead of the convoy.
Heading out.
I can get out of this mission with no damage and a fire starter. Now we're talking.
Acknowledged.
On my way.
Position confirmed.
second now. Someone's going to rain on our parade.
Move order received.
This is going way too smoothly. If I can get a fire starter out of this mission, I would be thrilled. So let's do move, brace for everybody at this point.
I'm your spaniel.
Aye, aye.
On it.
Corridor.
Hold this position, Commander. The package will be on its way soon.
Where is the enemy coming from? Where's the enemy braces?
Stabilizing. Engaging coolant system.
We'll just slow this down where it can be a little bit more. Okay, here comes the leopard. Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, guys, that's where we are going to end here. So, what happened here is the leopard landed on two of my guys. Now, there's no way I could have known that the leopard was going to land over there on my guys. So, what we're actually going to do is we're going to end right here, end the stream right here, because that's kind of BS in my opinion. So we're going to end the stream here, and then we're going to actually replay that mission, because that was ridiculous.